Ladies and gentlemen, I came here today with a message for somebody who's been overlooked, underestimated, and counted out. Somebody who has heard the whispers, felt the rejection, and faced the doubt. They said you wouldn't make it. They said you weren't good enough. They laughed at your dreams, dismissed your vision, and told you to stay in your place. But what they didn't realize is that God has the final say. You see, life will always have critics. There will always be people who think they know your limits, people who believe your past disqualifies you from a future, people who have already written you off. But let me tell you something. You don't need their approval to walk in your purpose. So today, I didn't come to whisper. I didn't come to play. I came to tell you it's time to prove them wrong. It's time to rise up, shake off the doubt, and walk boldly into the destiny that was written for you before you were even born. Are you ready? Are you willing to fight for what's yours? Then let's go, because today we break every limit. Today we prove them wrong. Doubt is heavy. It lingers in the back of your mind, whispering lies, making you question your worth, your ability, your very existence. It doesn't just knock on the door of your heart. It tries to take up residence. It settles in your spirit like a weight you weren't meant to carry, like a shadow that follows you, reminding you of every failure, every shortcoming, every time you didn't measure up. Doubt doesn't just show up from the outside. It comes from the inside too. It feeds on your insecurities, magnifies your fears, and makes you believe that what they said about you is true. It starts small. Maybe it was a teacher who told you you'll never amount to anything. Maybe it was a parent who spoke words over you that planted seeds of discouragement instead of confidence. Maybe it was a friend who doubted your dream, laughed at your vision, dismissed your potential. And even if they walked away, their words stayed. They echoed in your mind, playing on repeat, shaping how you saw yourself, making you feel like no matter how hard you tried, you would never be good enough. Doubt makes you second-guess everything. It makes you hesitate when you should move forward. It makes you shrink back when you should stand tall. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of fear, paralyzed by the thought of failure. And the worst part? Doubt doesn't just attack what you do, it attacks who you are. It tells you that you are not strong enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. It makes you feel like an imposter, like you don't belong in the places you've worked so hard to reach. And just when you think you've silenced it, here comes life with another challenge, another obstacle, another moment where you feel like you're not enough. And that old voice of doubt rises up again, whispering, why even try? Why put yourself out there? Why take the risk when you might fail? It convinces you that playing it safe is better than stepping out in faith. It tricks you into thinking that settling is easier than striving. Doubt is the enemy of destiny. It will have you walking around with your head down when you were meant to stand tall. It will have you playing small when you were created for greatness. It will keep you in the background when you were destined for center stage. It will keep you in fear when you were meant to walk in power. Doubt doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your potential. It only cares about one thing, keeping you from becoming everything you were created to be. Fear is loud. It shouts in the middle of the night, interrupting your peace, filling your mind with worst-case scenarios. It tells you that you're not ready, that you're not qualified, that you're not strong enough to handle what's coming. It makes you overthink every step, second-guess every decision, and hesitate when you should move forward. Fear is a thief. It steals opportunities, robs you of confidence, and convinces you to settle for less than what you were created for. Fear will have you standing at the edge of your destiny, paralyzed. It will show you all the reasons why you shouldn't move, why you should turn back, why it's safer to stay where you are. It will bring up your past failures, remind you of every time you tried and didn't make it, every time you gave your best and it still wasn't enough. Fear thrives on hesitation, on doubt, on delay. It doesn't need you to quit just to wait long enough that you talk yourself out of it. And fear doesn't travel alone. It comes with insecurity, with anxiety, with the overwhelming sense that you're out of your league. It magnifies the mountain in front of you, making it seem impossible to climb. It minimizes your strengths, making you forget every battle you've already won. Fear distorts your vision. It makes a small problem seem like an insurmountable obstacle. It makes a temporary storm feel like it's gonna last forever. It blinds you to possibility, to hope, to the promise that something greater is on the other side. But faith speaks in a different language. Faith doesn't ignore reality, but it refuses to be limited by it. Faith acknowledges the struggle but stands on the promise. Faith sees the problem but still believes in the power of the solution. Faith doesn't need all the details, it just needs the assurance that no matter what it looks like right now, something greater is ahead. Fear demands certainty. It wants guarantees before taking the first step. It wants a map, a timeline, a full understanding of how it will all unfold. But faith doesn't operate that way. Faith moves when nothing makes sense. Faith walks when fear says to sit down. Faith speaks when fear says to sit down. Faith speaks when fear says to wait. Faith knows that what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Fear will try to disguise itself as wisdom, telling you to be realistic, to be cautious, to wait for the right time. But deep down, you know when fear is holding the reins. You know when it's not wisdom speaking. It's insecurity, it's doubt. It's that old voice trying to keep you stuck. Fear wants you to believe that playing it safe is the same as living. But faith knows that true life begins when you step beyond what is comfortable, beyond what is familiar, beyond what you think you're capable of. Fear builds walls. It keeps you boxed in, contained, limited. But faith tears walls down. It expands your territory, enlarges your vision, and stretches your capacity. Fear wants to keep you in the boat, safe from the waves, secure in what's predictable. But faith calls you to step out onto the water. It doesn't promise that the wind will stop blowing or that the storm will disappear, but it promises that if you step out, you won't sink. Fear counts the losses, faith counts the lessons. Fear keeps score of every failure, faith keeps track of every victory. Fear reminds you of what went wrong last time. Faith reminds you of who you are, of what's inside you, of the purpose that won't let you quit. Fear will always have a voice. It will always try to pull you back. It will always try to convince you that the risk is too great, the dream is too big, the calling is too much. But faith refuses to bow. Faith stands tall. Faith moves forward. Faith believes when everything in the natural says it's impossible. Faith doesn't just hope, it knows. Resilience is not built in comfort. It is not developed in ease. It is not born in places where everything is handed to you, where doors open effortlessly, where paths are smooth and obstacles are few. Resilience is forged in the fire of adversity. It is shaped in the moments when everything in you wants to quit, but something deep inside refuses to break. It is formed in the struggles that test you, in the storms that shake you, in the challenges that push you beyond what you thought you could endure. Resilience is the difference between those who fall and stay down and those who rise up again, even when they are battered and bruised. It is the inner fire that says, I will not let this defeat define me. It is the ability to take a hit, absorb the pain, and keep pressing forward. Resilience does not mean you won't be knocked down. It does not mean you won't feel the weight of disappointment, the sting of failure, or the frustration of delayed dreams. But it does mean that no matter how hard life hits, no matter how many times you fall, you will always get back up. Pain has a way of testing what you are made of. It reveals the strength you didn't know you had, the endurance you didn't know you carried, the fight you didn't know was in you. Pressure exposes whether you have the kind of foundation that can withstand the storm. whether you have the kind of determination that won't crumble under the weight of struggle. Some people break under pressure. Others bend, but they don't break. They may be shaken, but they are not destroyed. They may be wounded, but they are not defeated. They may be delayed, but they are not denied. Resilience is a mindset. It is the decision to keep going even when the road is rough. It is the refusal to let obstacles become excuses. It is the determination to push past limitations, to find another way when one door closes, to dig deep when strength is running low. Some people give up too soon, walking away from their destiny because the journey got hard, because the opposition got tough, because the process took longer than they expected. But those who are resilient understand that greatness requires endurance. Resilience is built in rejection. Every no that you hear is not the end of your story, it is a redirection. Every closed door is not a sign to quit, it is a sign to knock harder, to push forward, to try again. Rejection is not meant to stop you, it is meant to strengthen you. It is meant to teach you that your value is not determined by someone else's approval, that your worth is not defined by whether or not people recognize your potential. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came from people who refused to accept rejection as the final answer. They knocked on 100 doors, they tried 1,000 times, they faced resistance after resistance, but they never stopped pressing forward. Resilience is knowing that failure is not final. Some people are so afraid of failing that they never take a risk, never step out of their comfort zone, never dare to chase after something bigger than themselves. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. Every lesson learned, every mistake made, every time you fell short, it was not wasted. It was shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for what's ahead. Those who are resilient do not see failure as the end. They see it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to come back stronger. Resilience is about pushing past pain. Pain will visit everyone at some point in life. The pain of loss, the pain of disappointment, the pain of betrayal, the pain of struggling for something that feels out of reach. But pain is not meant to paralyze you. It is meant to produce something in you. It is meant to develop endurance, to deepen your capacity, to strengthen your spirit. Those who are resilient do not run from pain. They push through it. They understand that the process may hurt, but the result will be worth it. They refuse to let temporary pain stop them from reaching permanent purpose. Resilience is about refusing to be defined by circumstances. Life will not always be fair. There will be seasons where nothing seems to go right, where the weight of the world feels unbearable, where everything in you wants to throw in the towel. But resilience is what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise above. It is what allows people to overcome hardships, to break through barriers, to step into levels they never thought possible. Resilience is not about having an easy road. It is about having an unstoppable spirit. It is about having the kind of determination that says, I may be tired, I may be hurting, I may have been through more than I ever thought I could endure, but I am still here. It is about standing in the face of adversity and saying, I refuse to quit. It is about waking up every morning with a mindset that says, no matter what happens today, I will not be defeated. It is about making the choice every single day to keep pressing forward, to keep believing, to keep fighting, to keep showing up. Resilience is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It is what allows people to turn struggle into strength, pain into purpose, obstacles into opportunities. It is not about never falling. It is about always rising. It is about understanding that no matter how hard life gets, no matter how many times you are knocked down, no matter how many times you feel like you can't take another step, there's always more in you. There's always another level of strength, another measure of faith, another ounce of endurance that will push you through. Resilience is what turns dreamers into achievers, what turns setbacks into comebacks, what turns the impossible into reality. Critics are everywhere. They watch from the sidelines, analyzing every move, waiting for you to fail. They whisper doubts, they throw shade, they question your ability, your talent, your vision. Some will do it openly, bold enough to say it to your face. Others will do it behind your back, disguising their words as concern, as wisdom, as advice. They will tell you what you can't do, what you shouldn't try, what is impossible for someone like you. They don't see the fire in you. They don't understand the calling on your life. They don't recognize the potential that is growing inside of you. Critics don't criticize people who are doing nothing. They come for the ones who dare to dream, who dare to step out, who dare to go after something bigger than themselves. They attack because they see movement. They see you rising. They see you pushing. They see you believing in something greater. And deep down, your courage reminds them of their own fears. Your faith exposes their doubt. Your ambition highlights their complacency. Some people criticize not because you're wrong, but because your confidence is a mirror reflecting back their own insecurities. They will laugh at your dreams. They will mock your efforts. They will dismiss your progress. They will tell you that you are wasting your time, that you are reaching too high, that you should settle for something smaller, something safer, something that doesn't challenge the limits they've placed on you. They will compare you to others, measuring your journey by someone else's timeline, making you feel like you are behind, like you are not enough, like you should stop before you embarrass yourself. But the truth is, you don't need to argue with them. You don't need to respond to every doubter. You don't need to explain yourself, defend your vision, or convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Words don't change minds. Debates don't silence critics. Results do. You don't fight doubt with dialogue. You fight it with discipline. You don't battle opposition with explanations. You battle it with execution. You don't need approval, applause, or validation. You need work ethic. You need focus. You need the kind of relentless commitment that says, I will show you better than I can tell you. Critics expect you to quit. They expect you to fold under pressure. They expect you to get discouraged, to walk away, to let their words sink so deep into your spirit that you start believing them. They expect their doubt to become your doubt. But what they don't expect is for you to keep going anyway. What they don't expect is for you to take every negative word, every insult, every ounce of doubt, and turn it into fuel. They don't expect you to outlast their expectations, to surpass their limitations, to prove them wrong not by what you say, but by what you do. When you start succeeding, the same people who doubted you will suddenly start paying attention. The same ones who said you couldn't do it will start asking how you did it. The same ones who laughed will have no choice but to watch as you rise. They may never admit they were wrong, but they won't be able to deny what is standing in front of them. Because success is undeniable. Results are undeniable. Growth is undeniable. You don't need to announce your every move. You don't need to post your plans, to update your progress, to prove yourself to people who never believed in you in the first place. Some things don't need to be announced, they need to be witnessed. Some victories don't need to be explained, they need to be seen. Critics will always talk, but talk is cheap. They have opinions, but opinions don't build success. Opinions don't create results. Opinions don't put in the work. While they talk, you work. While they doubt, you build. While they watch, you rise. Because at the end of the day, silence is the best response. And nothing silences a critic like undeniable, unstoppable, undeniable results. Your life is a story, and whether you realize it or not, someone has been trying to write it for you. From the moment you took your first breath, society started scripting your limitations, family expectations, cultural norms, past mistakes, and other people's opinions, each one trying to tell you who you are, what you can become, and how far you can go. They give you a name you didn't choose, a label you never asked for, a role you never agreed to play. They look at your background, your education, your resources, and they say, this is as far as you can go. They look at your struggles, your failures, your setbacks, and they say, this is who you are. They look at your pain, your losses, your history, and they try to define your future by your past. But what they don't realize is that they don't hold the pen. You are not a character in somebody else's story. You are the author of your own destiny. You have the power to turn the page, to rewrite the script, to break out of the box they tried to put you in. You don't have to accept the version of your life that others have written. You don't have to settle for the small, limited, predictable narrative that they have crafted for you. You have the authority to redefine your own narrative. But here's the problem. Too many people are living by a script they didn't write. They are playing a role that was assigned to them by someone else. They are walking through life carrying labels that were placed on them, expectations that don't align with their purpose, a version of themselves that doesn't match who they were truly created to be. They are living under the weight of someone else's opinion, believing the lies that were spoken over them, trapped in a false identity that does not reflect their true potential. Maybe they told you that you would never be successful. Maybe they told you that your past disqualifies you from greatness. Maybe they told you that people like you don't get opportunities, that people from your background don't go far, that your dreams are too big, your ambitions are too unrealistic. Maybe you started to believe them. Maybe you started to shrink yourself to fit the mold that someone else created for you. Maybe you started to live a life that is smaller than the one you were meant to have. But you don't have to accept it. You can change the story. You can flip the script. You can reject the narrative that was placed on you and create one that aligns with your vision, your purpose, your truth. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the limitations they placed on you. You are not the rejection, the failure, the pain. You are more than what they called you. You are bigger than the box they put you in. You are not bound by the chapters that have already been written. Redefining your narrative starts with breaking free from the opinions that don't serve you. Too many people are living for validation, seeking approval, waiting for someone else to give them permission to be who they were created to be. But if you live for their approval, you will die by their rejection. If you let people dictate your identity, you will always be at the mercy of their opinions. You will always feel like you have to prove something, always feel like you are not enough, always feel like you are one step away from being abandoned, overlooked, dismissed. But when you take control of your own, you stop chasing approval. You stop trying to fit into places where you don't belong. You stop accepting roles that don't align with your purpose. You stop letting people put a period where God has placed a comma. You stop letting failure define you. You stop letting setbacks become your identity. You stop letting rejection make you feel like you are unworthy. Some people will not recognize you when you step into your true identity. They have only known the version of you that fit into their expectations. They have only seen you through the lens of their limited perception. They were comfortable with the old version of you because it made them feel secure. But when you start rewriting your story, when you start living in your true power, when you start refusing to be defined by anything other than your purpose, some people will fall away. Some people will resist the new you. Some people will try to pull you back into the old script. But you cannot live in the past while stepping into your future. You cannot hold on to the old labels while embracing your new identity. You have to break free. You have to let go of the version of yourself that is rooted in other people's expectations. You have to stop waiting for permission to be great. You have to stop waiting for someone to give you a new name, a new identity, a new opportunity. Everything you need to redefine your life is already inside of you. You have the power to shift the direction of your story, You have the strength to rise above every limitation. You have the authority to speak a new identity over your life, to claim a new destiny, to walk boldly in the truth of who you really are. It won't be easy. Changing your narrative requires courage. It requires letting go of old mindsets, breaking free from toxic environments, challenging beliefs that have been ingrained in you for years. It requires stepping into the unknown, trusting that there is more ahead of you than behind you. It requires choosing faith over fear, purpose over comfort, truth over tradition. Some people will not understand your transformation. Some people will question your decisions. Some people will try to pull you back into the old version of yourself because your growth makes them uncomfortable. But you don't owe anyone an explanation for your evolution. You don't need approval to walk in your purpose. You don't need permission to become everything you were created to be. You are not here to fit into their story. You are here to write your own. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. Your failures do not define you. The words that were spoken over you, the labels that were placed on you, the opinions that were formed about you, none of those things have the final say. You are more than what happened to you. You are more than what they called you. You are more than what they expected of you. You have the power to take control of your own life, to break out of the mold, to rewrite the narrative, to create a future that reflects the greatness inside of you. You have the power to stand in your truth, to own your story, to rise above every limitation. You have the power to redefine your name, your legacy, your destiny. The pen is in your hands. The next chapter is yours to write. Opposition is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is not proof that you should give up, back down, or walk away. No, opposition is confirmation that you are stepping into something greater. It is the resistance that comes when you refuse to stay small. It is the pressure that increases when you decide to grow beyond your current level. It is the fire that rises against you when you dare to chase after something bigger than yourself. Every great person, every powerful leader, every history maker has had to endure opposition. No one who has ever done something significant has done it without facing resistance. The moment you decide to step out of your comfort zone, the moment you decide to walk in purpose, the moment you decide that you will not be bound by fear, you will feel the heat of opposition. Opposition does not come for the complacent. It does not show up for those who are comfortable with mediocrity. It does not chase those who settle. But the moment you begin to rise, the moment you start breaking generational curses, the moment you decide to fight for something greater, opposition will come. People will doubt you. They will question your ability, your worth, your vision. They will tell you that you are not qualified, that you don't have what it takes, that you are aiming too high. They will remind you of your past, try to limit you with your history, try to keep you locked in the mistakes of yesterday. They will throw obstacles in your path, try to block your progress, do everything in their power to stop you from becoming what you were created to be. But opposition is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to develop you. Fire does not just burn, it refines, it purifies, it strengthens, it removes what is weak and leaves behind what is pure, what is strong, what is unshakable. If you are feeling opposition, it means you are being refined. It means you are being strengthened. It means you are being prepared for a level you have never reached before. Some people fear opposition because they think it means they are not capable. But opposition does not show up for the incapable, it shows up for the powerful. It does not attack the weak, it attacks the strong. The enemy does not fight what does not threaten him. The more purpose you have, the more pressure you will face. The greater the call, the greater the conflict. The bigger the dream, the stronger the resistance. Opposition will not always come from strangers. Sometimes it will come from those closest to you, the ones who should support you, the ones who should believe in you, the ones who should encourage you. They may be the ones who question you the most. Not because they don't love you, but because they don't understand the fire inside of you. They don't see what you see. They don't hear what you hear. They are measuring your future by what they know about your past. But what they don't realize is that your past does not define you. What you have been through, what you have suffered, what you have endured. It was not meant to break you, it was meant to build you. Opposition is proof that you are stepping into something that requires strength. The pressure you feel is not meant to crush you, it is meant to shape you. The struggle you face is not a sign that you are failing, it is a sign that you are growing. When you push against resistance, you build endurance. When you face opposition, you develop perseverance. The fire that was meant to destroy you is the same fire that will refine you. Some people run from opposition because they think it means they are on the wrong path. But warriors are not made in peace. They are made in battle. Diamonds are not formed without pressure. Gold is not purified without fire. Strength is not built without resistance. Every level of greatness requires a new level of endurance. You cannot let opposition shake you. You cannot let it make you question your ability, your worth, your purpose. You cannot let the voices of doubt drown out the voice of destiny. The fire will come, but you must be willing to stand in it. You must be willing to face the heat, to endure the pressure, to walk through the storm, knowing that on the other side you will be stronger. Opposition is not your enemy, it is your training ground. It is the very thing that will prepare you for what is ahead. Every setback, every struggle, every challenge is equipping you. The ones who tried to stop you, they don't even realize that they were pushing you closer to your purpose. You must learn to use opposition as fuel. Let every no push you harder. Let every closed door make you more determined. Let every negative word remind you that you have something inside of you that cannot be stopped. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. All you need is the fire that refuses to go out. Some of the greatest success stories in history were born out of opposition. The greatest leaders, the most powerful voices, the strongest warriors, all of them had to face resistance. But they did not let it stop them. They did not let it break them. They did not let it silence them. They stood in the fire. They walked through the storm. They endured the struggle, and they came out stronger. You are no different. You were not created to be defeated. You were not created to be small. You were not created to give up at the first sign of struggle. You were created to overcome. You were created to rise. You were created to push through, to break barriers, to go further than anyone ever expected. The fire of opposition may burn, but it will not destroy you. It may challenge you, but it will not stop you. It may shake you, but it will not break you. Because what is inside of you is greater than anything that comes against you. What is inside of you cannot be silenced, cannot be contained, cannot be limited. The fire may come, but it will only make you stronger. Victory is not given to the swift. It is not handed to the swift. It does not belong to the most talented, the most connected, or the most privileged. Victory belongs to those who endure. It belongs to the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who refuse to let life's obstacles break them, the ones who are willing to push through the pain, the pressure, and the process. Endurance is the ability to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. It is the determination to rise even after you have fallen, to fight even when you feel weak, to press forward even when the road ahead is uncertain. It is the mindset that says, I will not stop until I see the promise, until I reach the goal, until I walk in the destiny that was meant for me. Too many people start strong but fail to finish. They get excited in the beginning. They are full of energy, full of ambition, full of passion. But when the weight of the journey sets in, when the obstacles arise, when the struggle gets real, when the process takes longer than expected, They give up. They throw in the towel. They convince themselves that maybe they weren't meant to succeed after all. But true victory is not found in the start. It is found in the finish. Endurance is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Anyone can have a dream. Anyone can talk about success. Anyone can start a journey. But only those who endure will see the fruit of their labor. Only those who push past the pain will taste the sweetness of victory. Endurance means standing firm when the storms come, and they will come. The road to victory is not smooth. It is full of setbacks, full of disappointments, full of moments that will test your faith, your patience, your resilience. People will walk away. Opportunities will fall through. Plans will fail. But will you keep going? Will you still believe when everything looks impossible? Will you still press forward when the process takes longer than expected? Will you still fight when you feel like you have nothing left? The strongest warriors are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who struggle and still press on. They are the ones who take the hits but refuse to back down. They are the ones who feel the weight of opposition, who cry tears of frustration, who walk through seasons of loneliness but never stop moving forward. Endurance is what builds champions. You don't become great by quitting. You don't win battles by surrendering to adversity. You don't reach new levels by walking away when things get hard. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to grow stronger. Every challenge you endure is preparing you for greater things. Every hardship you push through is stretching you, equipping you, molding you. Endurance is not just about lasting through the struggle. It's about thriving in the midst of it. It's about standing in the fire and letting it refine you. It's about being pressed but not broken, being shaken but not destroyed, being tested but never surrendering your faith. Because true endurance is not just surviving, it's overcoming. Some people think endurance is about waiting, but waiting without action is just passivity. Endurance is active. It is choosing to believe even when there is no evidence. It is continuing to work even when the results seem invisible. It is waking up every morning and showing up even when your emotions tell you to give up. It is moving forward in faith, trusting that every step you take, every sacrifice you make, every struggle you endure is pushing you closer to the victory that is waiting for you. Endurance is what separates those who talk about success from those who walk into it. The ones who endure are the ones who break through barriers, who defy the odds, who achieve what others thought was impossible. Because the truth is, many people start, but few finish. Many people dream, but few endure the process required to turn that dream into reality. Victory is not a gift. It is a reward for endurance. It is given to those who kept going when others quit. It is given to those who stood firm when others walked away. It is given to those who stayed the course, who faced the challenges, who embraced the process, who refused to be stopped by failure, fear, or fatigue. Endurance does not mean the journey will be easy. It does not mean you won't have moments of doubt, of exhaustion, of discouragement. But it means you will not let those moments define you. You will not let temporary pain make you forfeit permanent victory. You will not let obstacles make you turn back when you are too close to your breakthrough. Victory belongs to the unshakable. It belongs to those who refuse to let failure define them. It belongs to those who rise again and again and again, no matter how many times they fall. It belongs to those who have decided in their heart that quitting is not an option, that defeat is not their portion, that they will stand, fight, press, push, and endure until the victory is in their hands. You have come too far to let doubt stop you now. You have fought too many battles, endured too much pain, overcome too many obstacles to quit when you are this close to your breakthrough. The voices of doubt may be loud, the critics may be many, and the challenges may be great. But greater is the power that is within you. You are not created to settle. You are not placed on this earth to live beneath your potential. There is something inside of you that is bigger than every lie, stronger than every set, and greater than every limitation that has ever been placed upon you. You are not defined by where you started. You are not bound by the opinions of others. You are not limited by what they said you could or could not do. You have the power to rewrite your story. The best way to silence the critics is not with words, but with results. Let them talk while you work. Let them doubt while you build. Let them laugh while you rise. They may not believe in you now, but that is not your problem. You do not need their approval, their validation, or their applause. You need only the fire within you, the fire that refuses to quit, the fire that refuses to be average, the fire that refuses to be defeated. Every time they said you weren't good enough, prove them wrong. Every time they counted you out, prove them wrong. Every time they said you would fail, that you weren't strong enough, smart enough, gifted enough, prove them wrong. Stand tall in the face of adversity. Keep moving forward when the road gets rough. Keep believing when others doubt. Keep pushing when everything in you wants to quit. Because at the end of this journey, when the dust settles and the doubters fall silent, you will stand victorious. Not because they believed in you, but because you refused to give up. So, walk boldly, fight fearlessly, work relentlessly, and prove them wrong.